Welcome back. I try not to get too far behind with my rapid analysis from Lichess. I play one of those games every single night right before I go to bed. Not right before I go to bed, but it's one of the last things that I do every single day. And then I analyze it the next day is my plan, but sometimes it goes several days. I have 2 built up now, and I don't want it to build up to 8 or 10 like last time. So let's just go. I have 2 games to look at. This is the first one, and this one I had a chance, and then I gave that away, and then I gave the whole game away. Right here, we were very close to even. My opponent had a very slight advantage, but then they blundered by playing their bishop out there, and then I blundered by castling. So let's turn off this stuff so I don't see what I should have played because it's written right there in the lines. But yeah, castling was a mistake or a blunder here. What should I have played instead? I should have just taken the knight. The knight's free. Okay, well, I'm trying to remember now. Did I just not see that, or did I see a problem with it? Oh, you know what? I do remember now. I thought the reason that I had to castle first was because if I take the knight, then they checkmate me. But it wouldn't be checkmate. I would just get out, right? My king would just get out. And then if they took my rook, my bishop's right there. I'm going to guess it was taking the knight to turn this back on. Yeah, I had a almost -3 if I had just taken the knight. And it does say that they would check me, and I would get out of check to d7, losing my right to castle, but then they wouldn't take my rook. They would go back, probably to c4, but they could also go to c3 or c2. And I would be up -3. Now, I'm guessing if they took my rook, it would be worse for them? No, it would be about the same, maybe just a little bit worse. But now look at my messed up position. They're all fully developed, ready to castle. Castling is one of their better moves. But I'm up a knight. And I'm about to take that pawn, and it doesn't say they should defend it. They could defend it by pulling the bishop back. They could defend it by pushing it forward. But castling is their best move, right? And I'm I've got a bishop in the corner. I've got, these pieces haven't moved yet. My queen is stuck over here and I can't castle. So if they castle, my best move is to drop the king back 1, I guess, so that my knight can develop there. Knight b to d7 is listed in those lines, whether I put the king on e8 or d8. Okay. But yeah, I remember the reason that I did see the knight, but I thought they could checkmate me because I couldn't go here because my queen was still there. But if my queen takes the knight, my queen isn't there, and then I can get out. Also, if my queen was there, I could just take the rook. I understand that one. So that put us back to even. And then my opponent made, I assume, one of their better moves. Yeah, one of their 2 best moves on this turn. And then I blundered again, and I played a6. Let's turn off the lines here. Why did I play a6? I don't know. It would have been fine here if I didn't play a6. Should I have played b6? I think I can understand b6 because it allows my queen to come over here, and then I would have 2 pieces pointed at that pawn. Or e6 or e5? I really don't know. But why was a6 such a blunder? Because they can fork me. Oh, that's why. Okay, got it. a6, my a7 pawn was defending this square, so they couldn't fork me. But once I move it, then they can fork me, and they want my rook for a knight. Okay, I understand. So what should I have played instead? I'm going to guess b6 or one of the e-pawn moves. Let's turn this back on. b5. Oh, I should have just played... What? Sorry. I was drawing an arrow, Lichess. b5. It's done that to me several times lately, and it's getting irritating. I don't know if it's a new feature or if it's a bug. If it's a new feature, I wish they would retract it. But anyway, b5 is what I should have played. It's not my only move. I also could have played rook to c8 to directly threaten their rook. And it says they wouldn't want to trade. They would have pulled their knight back. But either way, I would not have been giving up this square by playing a6 like I did. Okay, I understand that. And I was behind the rest of the game because I was down the full piece. In this game, I resigned after 17 moves because, as you can see, I can't take this, or I shouldn't, I don't think, because of the pawn. And if I don't take it, I have to move out of check to f1, and they're going to get my rook for the knight. I didn't know how far down I was. The engine here says -4. I thought I might have been down -2 or whatever, but everything's messed up already. My opponent made 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, and it says just 1 inaccuracy, which was bishop to g4 at some point. But they seemed to know exactly what they were doing. And by the time of my only mistake, my only blunder here, move 12, I was already down. Right here, I was already down -0.7. Okay, -0.5 with no mistakes and no inaccuracies. But I'm already down. I have to castle now. That's the only move that maintains the -0.5. But instead, I played here. My idea was to get rid of this irritating bishop. But that was the blunder, the only mistake that I made in this game. Now my opponent can either take it or play d4. And those are the 2 moves that take advantage of that. And they played d4. I'm not sure that I would have seen d4 in this position had I been my opponent. I think I might have left the bishop there because it is defended. I'm not going to, move it back because then white would get the rook. So if I'm playing with the black pieces here, I think I might have left that there, but I don't know that I would have found d4, but they did. And my best move is knight to b5, and I'm still down -2 even if I save the knight. But I took their bishop. My thinking was if they take here, I can take back with the bishop. So it would have been an even exchange, right? Actually, I would have gone up a pawn. But their best move is to take the bishop now. And so I have to move the knight. Actually, it's my best move to play it to a2. But I played my second best move, which is about the same, which is taking the pawn. Of course, they're going to take with their pawn. And now I have to move. No, now I don't have to move the knight. Now I have to castle. Well, I thought I had to move the knight. But it says to go to a2 with it. I went over here with it, thinking we could trade. So we did trade. And by far, my opponent's best move is d3, which is what they played. My best move is to put this knight over here on c3. My second best move is to castle, but I went out to f4 to save it from being captured and also maybe to threaten the bishop. But that allowed them to check there because it's protected by the pawn. So, and all that because I played the bishop move. Yeah. So, but I was already behind. That's the thing that gets me, is that I was already behind after 11 moves. My opponents only used 21 seconds of their 10 minutes, so they're averaging about 2 seconds per move up to this point, and they're already ahead. So this person, it seemed like, was very familiar with playing against the English opening, which I play, and this part's normal. I've seen this before. I still have a very slight lead at this point. They played one of their 2 best moves. I always thought I was supposed to take that pawn here, but apparently Stockfish says get the knight out to f3, or play d4, but I took the pawn, which put my opponent slightly in the driver's seat. No, we're even. Okay, well, of course, they have to take back. And then my best move is knight to d3. But I went about with my normal development, which is pushing this pawn. Okay, that's what it was. That should have been counted as inaccurate right there. I should not have gone what I normally do, which is e3 and putting the knight behind it. I should have put the knight on f3 and castled, because that's faster. Oh no, it says I still would have wanted to play d4 on the next move, or I could have played d4 now, and then that pawn never would have got down to d3 and been a problem. Okay, that's what I need to know, because I have seen this set up a couple of times before, but in the past when I've taken the pawn, and then I've gone ahead with my normal development, and it's been okay. I might have lost due to something later, but here I lost right now, and the game review didn't point it out to me. This was the mistake right here that put me behind from the beginning. My opponent has multiple moves. They chose to take full control of the center. And now to stay close, I had to play d4, but I went about with my normal development. And this was my opponent's only inaccuracy, was playing here. And I should have either castled or played f3. I wondered about that. Almost always the engine says to play h3, and I didn't think f3 would be great, but I would have castled on the next turn, so it would have been okay. But this also put us back a little bit. Okay. And then we stayed about there for the next several moves. Actually, here suddenly I'm at minus 0.8, 0.7. Let's see, when they castled, I should have played d4 or castled. Okay, but I played b3 for some reason. That one maybe also should have been counted as inaccurate. And then once they played this, and then I played bishop to b2, it's -1 here if they play rook to c8. Fortunately, they didn't. They did this, but we all know what happened next. But yeah, I have a hard time thinking of that as a blunder, but it's because of d4 that I didn't prevent earlier. So I'm not going to count the bishop to a3 because this part is really complicated to me. I'm going to go back here, and next time when we get in this situation, I'm going to play knight to f3 and then castle, or d4. But if I play knight to f3, aren't they going to play it says they're not going to play e5, but why wouldn't they? Because then they can get really close to this really fast. Let's see, if they play this now, oh, that gives me huge, oh, because I can just take it. Okay, wow. I will try to remember that. I definitely did not want to get into the rut of playing the exact same moves no matter what. But, and that's why I knew I had to take that pawn when they put it there, the first one. But I thought that after that I would be okay by going about with my what I normally do. But it's not okay, because now they can play e5 because I don't have a knight here that can attack it. I think that part I understand right there. e3 should have been counted as inaccurate, and it set me off on the wrong foot immediately. But, I will say good job to this opponent. They jumped in there and took over fast. Okay, I think I understand. Again, maybe not the bishop part over there, but this part I do understand. I need to counteract that immediately. Thank you for spending your time here, and I'll see you next time.